Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into something super fascinating and honestly deeply personal for a lot of us. We're going to unpack the cutting-edge science behind why that curious, imaginative child you once were might seem to have just disappeared as you grew up.
So, where did your childhood potential go? It's kind of heavy, right? A lot of us look back and wonder what on earth happened to that spark, that boundless creativity we used to have. But the truth we're uncovering today is that your potential didn't just vanish randomly into thin air. There is a precise biological explanation for exactly where it went.
Psychology reveals something absolutely profound about how we develop. To quote, "The brain isn't just shaped by what we learn, it's shaped by what we survive." When faced with chronic stress or trauma, your brain literally has to make incredibly tough, split-second choices about how to manage its resources.
Okay, let's dive into this with Section 1, The Illusion of Lost Potential.
You know, society loves to tell us that losing our drive is just a failure of character, or maybe a lack of willpower. But science tells a completely different story. The brain is forced to make a massive biological trade-off. Choose between keeping you safe and keeping you growing. And in the natural world, survival wins every single time. The brain shifts its priority entirely towards survival protocols. And sadly, that comes at the direct cost of your intellectual curiosity and growth at that specific time.
Section 2. Rewired for survival. So when a kid experiences a chronically stressful environment, the brain physically reroutes its pathways. It starts with the amygdala. Think of it as the brain's internal threat detector. In an unpredictable situation, it becomes totally hyperactivated. It starts firing constantly, keeping the body on super high alert even when there's no real physical danger in that exact moment. Because survival takes absolute priority, this specific part of the brain is forced to work massive overtime.
And this brilliantly illustrates the cost of that high alert state. The brain literally steals the energy budget from the prefrontal cortex, that's the part responsible for curiosity, creativity, and exploring the world, and funnels it straight to the amygdala to scan for threats. So a child who once lit up at new ideas didn't randomly lose that capacity. Their brain's focus was forcefully reassigned from discovery to danger.
Let's move on to Section 3, The Erosion of Memory.
Now, this isn't just a shift in attention. Well, actually, it's a physical toll on the brain's architecture. It triggers this crazy cascade effect. Chronic trauma hits, which unleashes a literal flood of cortisol, our body's main stress hormone. Sustained exposure to that cortisol actually causes the hippocampus, which is the brain's memory center, to physically shrink. The final result? Mental fog. Forgetfulness and difficulty concentrating are literal biological symptoms of a compromised neural architecture, not some personal failing. It was a developing brain carrying weight it was never meant to hold alone. Seriously, if you have ever blamed yourself for struggling to focus or remember things, please hear this validating truth. It wasn't laziness. It was a developing nervous system trying to function under extreme duress.
Section 4, The Shield of Shame.
Stepping away from the pure anatomy for a second, developmental psychologists look at the emotional side of this using a fascinating concept called the internal working model. Essentially, this is the core belief system a kid forms about themselves and the world through their early relationships. When a child's environment is full of chronic criticism, unpredictability, or humiliation, this foundational model is dramatically altered.
The internal working model forms around one incredibly painful conclusion: being seen leads to pain. If expressing yourself or making a tiny mistake gets you criticized, the brain realizes that visibility is dangerous. This devastating conclusion forces the brain into an immediate, protective shutdown. That shutdown actually has a clinical name: cognitive suppression. It's a protective mechanism where intellectual risk-taking is entirely turned off. From the outside, a teacher might look at a child and just see disengagement or apathy. But from the inside, it is a highly intelligent nervous system simply trying to survive by flying under the radar.
In the classroom, this is the kid who stops raising their hand. They stop attempting things they might fail at, and ultimately they just stop believing their own ideas matter. They learn through harsh repetition that trying simply costs way too much emotional and physical energy.
Section 5. Your potential never left. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is how we can completely reframe the narrative.
This is where we get to flip the script. The trauma didn't destroy your potential. It just channeled it.
So many adults carrying unprocessed childhood trauma discover they are extraordinarily perceptive and highly emotionally intelligent. Think of that person at work who instantly knows how to read the vibe of a tense room. That deep intuition and gift for reading people, it's a survival skill, amplified into an incredible strength. Trauma didn't erase what you were capable of, it just buried the traditional academic stuff and amplified your survival-based emotional intelligence.
Researchers actually have a specific term for this: hypermentalization. It's a finely tuned sensitivity to the emotional states of others. Now, originally, this developed strictly as a survival strategy to predict danger or navigate unstable adults. It's a total, unacknowledged superpower that never ever appeared on a report card. But it grew from the exact same mind the world once wrote off, proving without a doubt that your immense potential was always there.
Section 6. The power to heal.
If any of this explainer is hitting home for you today, please hold that realization with gentleness, because the science offers incredible hope here through neuroplasticity. So the crucial point is, the brain retains its ability to physically change, rewire, and heal at literally any age. The damage isn't permanent. The brain's incredible adaptability means that healing and reclaiming that lost curiosity is for sure possible. You are never stuck.
The potential was always there, quietly waiting for the moment it felt safe. That child full of wonder, imagination, and potential never truly disappeared. They didn't leave you. They just learned to wait.
And so, I want to leave you with one final provocative thought. What could your brain do if it finally felt safe? Seriously, if your brain could build literal superpowers just to survive the hardest parts of your life, imagine what it will achieve when it's finally free to thrive. Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer. Keep exploring, keep healing, and I'll see you next time.